Good day and good love, beautiful expressions of light. This is Wendy, once again sharing with you the serendipitous and synchronistic languages of lights. For everything, including you, is Source speaking a language of light. So today I wanted to share with you what my guides are expressing as the science of synchronicity. So it kind of began this morning with the date 7/15/2017 equals 14, which equals 5 when you add them together. And I was reminded of when Bashar had mentioned once, I heard that the number 5 was the symbol of humanity. And I started then feeling these, as I'm sitting out here meditating, feeling grateful, thinking about some of the things that have been in my awareness the last couple of days. Atlantis, Lemuria, dolphin, whale energy, seeing things from multiple perspectives. And then synchronistically, somebody had posted, which I added to my playlist, my Bashar playlist. If anybody is not familiar with my channel, I actually have a lot of playlists in which I have loosely categorized things, but I try to share them comprehensively, so that if you're looking for something in particular, there's little bits and pieces and examples of different things within my playlist. And so I came across an old Bashar video that somebody had posted today when the video was newly posted, but the recording was from back in 1986. And I was immediately then reminded of, when I say reminded, of a memory of where I was in 1986 and what was going on in my life then. And I realized that truly was one of the moments of my awakening process. As I look back of where I was back then, even though I understand on a higher dimensional level that everything is now, we're experiencing everything right now, and that a memory is nothing more than my consciousness sending me an image of something that is pertaining to this now, this synchronicity. How is this synchronistic for me now? And I was just getting then all of this shamanic energy and the connection, the number 5, about going both directions, how the number 5 is the only number that actually goes both directions, and how that somehow symbolizes us and humanity, and how we are literally capable of going both directions, connecting with the earth and the spirit world. And that's what shamans do, and bringing this information and helping each other grow by sharing our own synchronicities, even though the symbolisms within your own synchronicities are always going to be unique to you. Sharing our synchronicities often ignites and activates things and synchronicities between us and timelines that where we've connected. So as we know, in our meditation, our minds can go a million directions. And it was also instantly reminded that back then, in that year, I guess it was, or thereabout, was when the whole idea of ubiquitous and ubiquity had really come into my awareness, of the idea that what we call source, what we call God, what we call all that is everywhere all at once. And now that we are beginning to understand the science behind that, the reality behind that, and what Bashar has been bringing to us all these years, was that idea that everything is now, everything is simultaneous, and the synchronicities are all of us. When we experience these synchronicities in our lives, it is us being aware of being aware that everything we're experiencing is part of our whole multidimensionality, and how our connection with the earth, the nature spirits, the native spirits, the animal kingdoms, the plant kingdoms, how all of this comes together, and how we are connected to the earth and the sky at the same time, if you want to call sky the spirit world, the other realms. Because when we think about looking up to the stars, we think of higher dimensionality. When we pray, I guess we look up, right? We understand that the sky, the sun, we look up and we do sun salutations to show reverence to this star that connects us to, that keeps us alive, that connects us to the animal kingdom, the plant kingdoms, the humanity, the kingdom of humanity, that none of which would exist without this sun, this star, and the water, and the elements, and how we're all made of crystal and silica and stardust and every dust. And as I was going through all this in my meditation and feeling what it feels like, and being reminded of myself of the times when I have literally felt where I have become the animal, become the tree, become the insect, become the very thing, the very energy of which I was focused on, and how we truly have the ability to do that. And I was hearing in the bay down here, I was thinking about the animal, the egg. Then I was hearing, sorry about the boats down there, guys. I was hearing the eagles, and the eagles flapping in the water, and I was hearing the water birds, and I was imagining, and I have seen the eagle down there literally playing in the water, flapping its wings, feeling its joy. And they were actually, there were two of them together, and they were sitting together, and each of them were flapping their wings and playing in the water. And so I can't see them right now, but I could hear them, and I didn't know if it was the eagle or another bird. But as I'm hearing this flapping, I'm being reminded that when we speak to something, we're speaking to everything. When you're speaking to yourself, when you're speaking to your guides, when you're speaking to your friends, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your spouse, your partner, when you're speaking to your higher selves, when you're speaking to all that is, when you're praying and speaking to what you consider your source of energy, your God, you are speaking to everything, always, all the time. No matter who you think you're speaking to, you're always speaking. Everything is always speaking to everything. Every thought that you have, everything that you say out loud, we are constantly always having a conversation with all that is. We are constantly, because there is nothing outside of all that is. All that is contains everything that there ever was and ever will be, which continues to expand, yes, but however, it continues to expand and expand. And yet we are becoming aware now, as we spend more time in nature and become this understanding of, we can become connected to these things in a second, in a breath, in an intention. So I have many times been able to literally connect to myself, to the tree, to the leaf, to the flower, to the bird, and literally become, I can see the world through its eyes. And this is what we're all capable of, this, all of us. It's about sharing these synchronicities with each other so that we begin to perceive and believe and then conceive based upon these sharings. And I was even reminded of how, so then I'm listening to, I come across these Bashar videos, and everything I'm listening to in the videos was confirming every single thing that I had just heard in my own meditation and was reminded of. And I was just like, again, you can't make these things up. And then I was asking them, so then I was reminded about balance and frequency and harmonization and harmony and becoming in harmony with these beings, and how we can, so I was literally like cast into the energy of this bird down there, and literally feeling its joy in flapping its wings in the water, playing in the water, bathing, being refreshed, cooled. It's very warm here today. So it's humid, it's tropical feeling. So I'm just feeling what this bird is feeling, and I'm feeling the energy. And then I'm feeling this dolphin energy and the whale energy and the lemurian and the water birds. And then I was reminded of these blue dragonflies that have been flying all over everywhere. And so then a blue dragonfly flies right in front of me. And then I'm guided to my native spirit card deck and the earth magic deck. And I'm asking my guides, okay, what message do you have for me then? Because, what is it that you are telling me? What do I need to know and hear right now? And how does this correspond to synchronicity and humanity and the science? They literally are calling it the science of synchronicity, because we're beginning to finally understand, by connecting to all these things and intending more to want to connect to the elements and our higher versions of ourselves and our ET counterparts, and inviting our spirit guides in, inviting the nature spirit guides in to give us messages. I literally had a conversation earlier, and I turned around because that's where it was. It was this beautiful blue butterfly, blue. And here I am, blue today. And I was also talking yesterday, wow, all of a sudden now I'm seeing the blue everywhere, this blue throat chakra energy. I just had this really long conversation with someone yesterday about our throat chakra and all of our chakras and the colors and how they connect, and how the synchronicities of colors and how it corresponds to our chakra systems and the vortexes within us. And right now I'm being reminded of that. So I'm seeing this blue everywhere. Now I'm seeing my blue cup. I'm seeing blue in the cards. I'm seeing the blue in my shirt that I chose, because now I'm reminding myself of this opening the throat chakra energy and the idea of connecting all of our chakras so that we're able to engage this blue chakra energy. And I wanted to stand up. I typically sit down, and so I wanted to stand up. I wanted to feel this freedom of expression. I wanted you all to be able to see the water. They were very, very intent on you being able to see the water today. I hope the lighting's not too bad right now. But as I'm having this conversation with this blue butterfly, I'm literally realizing when we are so present, when we are truly present, we are in perfect harmony. That's the time when we are in that self-harmonization, that balance of perfect frequencies, that idea of the eclipses and the solstices and the bluebirds. I've been seeing bluebirds everywhere. So all of this blue energy, these synchronicities of this is our higher selves telling us to be present and pay attention to these messages. Even if you think they're so benign, they're not. Nothing is, because it's all you speaking to you. It's all your higher dimensions. It's all of the fractals of you. It's source telling you you're always completely and utterly capable of these connections. So I wanted to show you, I'm being guided now to show you. I was reminded, and I wish I would have dated these, because I need to be better about dating the things that I write down, but then I'm also reminded it doesn't matter because everything is now, right? So then I was given and see, these are the things that I'm talking about. So I'm looking at my own stuff, worrying about the fact that I haven't dated it, and then they get the message right away. Everything's now, it doesn't matter. Whenever anybody sees it, whenever you did it, is irrelevant. Whatever we think we did in the past is now. Whatever. So that's kind of the whole idea behind that. So this I did, and they actually told me it was called self-harmonization, and I may have actually posted this before, or maybe even showed it in a video before, but again, everything's now. So they were reminding me of this in my journal about self-harmonization, and they were calling these, when I started designing these, when I started receiving these, they called them like healing totems, because of their design, the up and down design, and they were showing me how they really correspond to our vortexes, our inner vortexes, our DNA, our atoms, our very beings, our very essences, our you know, the energy vortexes within us that are correspond to the rainbow, which correspond to the colors of the foods, which correspond to the actual prisms, which correspond to crystal energy, which correspond to the fact that we are multidimensional light beings. Many of you know that I love taking pictures of the sun, the sunlight and the galactic center, and these gamma rays and these solar rays. Something's been speaking very, very loudly to me lately about the sun. It always has, but in relationship to what it means to us now and the energies. And then I was reminded of this totem that I had done. Oh, so then I started, then when I'm hearing the birds in the water, so I'm reminded of the phoenix energy, this, and the eagle energy, and rebirth, and rising from the ashes. And the ashes are actually, they were showing me the ashes were actually like the remains of the belief systems that we have flown above, that they become part of ashes to ashes, dust to dust idea, but they become part of the fabric, the very fabric of everything, and that everything exists because there is no outside, and that the very fabric of the ashes becomes part of the rebirth process. Because without those old beliefs at that time, we couldn't actually even emerge and go through this whole belief process. So I was literally feeling, you know, this eagle and the phoenix energy, so I was feeling like I needed to stand up, you know, and I find that in general, and maybe somebody else needs to hear this, but I find in general that many of us who do spiritual work sit a lot because we are we're sitting in front of a computer, we're sitting in front of a camera, we're handling cards, we're sitting, so many of us, even as we're sharing this information, need to get up and move around, because it's a constant movement. We are always moving. And meditation, they're just showing me now, meditation is about allowing the energy to move through you without the mind, without the movement of the mind, without the judgment of the mind, because that's where we find this balance of harmony. And so now they're showing me my healing totem that I had done. And this was they're showing me it's a multidimensional balance of the sun and the moon. I believe I may have done this maybe even on the spring solstice. I might have done it then. And the idea of the phoenix, the wings, and they're showing me this galactic languages, and then the activations of our chakra systems, grounding, rising from the ashes of the earth, the significance of the events that are taking place. I find it, I'm being reminded too, talk about synchronicity, guys. I'm being reminded now that I moved south of where I used to live, and now I'm basically right in the path of the solstice this year. Something that is an epic event that I am just now being told I need to do some major galactic language some major galactic language activations during this energy time. So this is interesting how this information is developing right now. And so the fact that I moved here to be right basically in its path, there are no accidents, you guys. Every synchronicity, everything we share with each other is a synchronicity, simply a serendipitous co-creation, if you will, but yet on a higher level, but for us to explore and be excited about what's going to be new every day, and yet letting go of any expectation of how it comes and just letting it come. It's not about how do I manifest? How do I manifest? You guys are already manifesting. We are already manifesting. Everything you see around you is a manifestation. It's about what you're manifesting. What frequency are you in? What is your reflection showing you that you're manifesting? You're always manifesting. It's a matter of what. And money is just one simple form of abundance. Remember what Bashar said. Abundance is being able to do what you want to do when you want to do it, right? So how you get there, we need to, rather than make happen, allow to happen simply by following our highest excitement moment by moment, to take it as far as you can take it without expectation. How many times have we heard this, but how many of us actually believe we're doing it? So they're telling me today, don't try to figure out the what, the why, the how, just go with the flow, go with the information, share, and because you always there's always a reflection. Somebody always needs to hear, know, reflect upon what you have to share. So this is the healing balance totem, the rising phoenix. So I wanted to show that to you. I think I might have company. I gotta check. So I wanted to show you how they're showing me these galactic symbols, our DNA, the rising of our chakra systems, the multi-dimensional languages. They were actually, I remember now when I was drawing this, I was literally feeling a multitude of collectives. I was feeling the earth angels. I don't even know where that came from. I was feeling the angelics. I was feeling source, the balance of source. I was feeling the balance of the moon and the sun, and what they mean to us, and how it reflects the balance onto the earth. The yin and the yang, the again, the galactic inner dance. And they were showing me, I'm literally seeing now the ships and the symbols within the ships, and the galactic symbols, and how that relates to our ancestry, and how that relates to our connection with the earth, how the connection to the earth relates to our ancestors, relates to our celestial cousins, relates to our hybrid children, relates to the very mechanics of creation, and our constant ability to manifest, yet our lack of belief in the power we have over what we are manifesting. I don't know. I don't know if that even made any fluid sense. And now I'm hearing light languages too. So yes, I'm going to pause just for a moment for a quick peek and a drink of water. So the message strongly right at this moment is that the science of synchronicity really is us in this age of Aquarius beginning to understand that synchronicity is not magic, it's not esoteric, and yes, it is metaphysical, because it is beyond physics, yet it is part of physics, because synchronicity literally is the reflection to yourself of your manifestations. It is the mechanics of creation. And that's why, if we could understand that every single thing is a synchronicity for us, by us, and when I say by us, I mean, they mean us. All of the parts of ourselves, all of the fractals that comprise the multidimensional being that you are. So when they say by you, for you, or by us, it means this is being presented, reflected to us by all the mirrors that we are. So the science of synchronicity is understanding that your reality, our reality, is nothing more than a holographic reflection of our own creation. And the first time I ever heard the words from Seth, and that's actually how I found, in a way, there are other things that led me to Seth and led me to, but to the words that I first heard from Seth when he said, you create your own reality. And it was the first time that anything ever in my entire life made any sense at all. But yet it scares the pants off of us because it requires an immediate belief system shift, because we always believe that our life happened to us instead of by us, and definitely not for us. Now, although we innately understood, well, everything happens for a reason, for our own good, but we really didn't. We did not understand the reality of those words. We didn't understand the literalness of those words, and now we are, and we're stepping up as these brave phoenixes and rising up out of the ashes and saying, okay, I'm no longer afraid to see who I am. I'm no longer afraid to look at all the ashes that we've left behind us as we have risen above other things in our reality that we have conquered, that have made us who we are today. And yet today we still, in this now, doubt our strength and courage and ability, yet it's been there all along, right? Because you got here somehow, right? So don't lose sight of that and start to see and feel these synchronicities. I actually did pull some cards which where I had began to ask for the message for me. What do I need to know? What do I need to hear? And then I was guided to then share that as well, because clearly somebody else needed to hear it. So, however, because of the length of this so far, I'm going to close this with a galactic blessing, and I will just start a new video, and I will do the cards. Olo shotoke satasimi ulukso shinikila asatasnu ulukwe shebelusunose. Ekorashi bakuniki woloshna wa eleke satashno sopolo honyan beke satosumoku ashani itaka. We are all, they're telling me right now, we are all capable, perfectly capable of self-healing, self-harmonization, self-actualization. We are literally an expression of light. We are expressions of source. We have at all times at our disposal the ability for galactic balance, for celestial balance, for perfect harmony within ourselves. And we find that in this divine place of this interconnectedness, this knowing that We really are one moment, one light. We are all expressions of the same light. We are understanding we are beginning to understand collectively that synchronicity is indeed a science. It is truly the energetic representation and expression of source in its completeness speaking to you, but it is your awareness. Synchronicity doesn't exist without you. Synchronicity doesn't exist without your awareness of it. Indeed. Very, very. Even in that idea, that's pretty profound. So thank you once again, our emissaries of the Light Collective, for being with us in this day, in this way, in this now, and co-creating this beautiful sharing. I thank you all for being here, being your most beautiful expressions of excitement and light. I love you all. We are each here to help each other rise from the ashes of beliefs that no longer serve us, to dust off the ashes and fly freely in perfect balance and harmony. Makoreshi Omboshe Elasoto Sekipo Nida Satashi Elusi Pushnewa Etosami Sipile Alurama Ewa Kaluta Samito Shotoki Alihila Hamianoa Kosunai Wela Kisho Alahena Nahena Yalate Shonahe Nahena Yaseto Nebalate Nunyuha Netalahelana Namelahe Namehelu Shema Lesato Imboko Shewa Lisata Sonikawa Apokoshna Sose Lento Soba Aleheshna Sete Gonenda Si. You are capable, or as essences of source and expressions of light, you are capable of becoming one with anything you desire. For there is nothing outside of source, nothing preventing you from connecting with anything. Experiencing anything. For always remember, you cannot imagine that which you are not the vibration of. The science of synchronicity requires your awareness.